Yo, 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 my Star Citizens and Noob Gamers. Welcome back to another episode of Star Citizen with me, Mennings. And today I'm going to be doing a top 6 tips for moderate players or players that have been playing a little bit and maybe don't know some of these tips. So I'm going to get straight into it. So tip number 1 is fines. So these systems here is where you compare some fines you've got. So if you've taken some goods from a planet or whatever and you get caught with it, you get a fine. Now it's not a massive great deal because you don't get a crime stat and that, but what does happen is if you go onto a bunker mission, you can end up getting a trespassing warning as you come flying into the bunker mission, and when you go down into the bunker you'll find the friendlies start shooting you as well, and that's just because you've got a fine. Kilthanis has done it a few times. He's gone on, looked, and he hasn't had a crime stat, but then when we've come into the bunker it's got a trespassing message coming up and he's being shot at. So, and that's not us confusing the different bunker missions in if you have a bunker mission that says defend, then you won't get shot at because you expect it to be there because you're defending it. If you've got a bunker mission that says eliminate or remove, then the enemy has control of the guns and then you're going to get the trespassing message and you're going to get shot at. But
he's shot me dead.
If you have a crime stat, you'll get shot at even with the defend ones when you're coming in towards the bunker. Yeah, that little tip there, just clearing your fines can help you with your bunker missions and no trespassing. Another thing, a quick thing I'll show you is this admin office. When you're dropping off packages, you'll have these boxes where you can drop them off, and there's one here in the admin office. But that's not the only one, so you might be trying to put the package in there and it won't accept it. So be aware that there is other boxes around, like down here in the cargo area. So down in the cargo area again we have another box drop off place. So there could be a few places. This is true on Microtech as well. There's about 3 or 4 on Microtech. New Babbage. Once you land in the spaceport, there's a good few, and I've tried a couple of times to access them and not been able to, and having to go for different ones. So that's a quick tip there on top of that one. So my second tip is you don't have to be on the space stations to access the inventory of your local space station. All you have to do is get within the ring here, and these ring of lights that I'm coming up to now. And once you're within them rings, you go into the armistice zone, and the sign comes up there. Once you're in the armistice zone, you can access your local inventory on the space station. So you don't actually have to land. So if you forgot something and you've left, you can just go back into this armistice zone. You don't have to go and land and all that stuff. You can just go into the armistice zone of it, and then just leave your ships floating, come out of your cockpit and just press I and go into your local inventory. And so that's true, like, so if like you're coming in and you need an helmet or something because you're going to land on a pad or whatever, or if you're leaving and you've just left a pad and you forgot your helmet and you're going somewhere else, then you can just be in the armistice zone and grab the stuff from the local inventory if you need. And also there's them arrows at the bottom that I'm pressing in my local inventory there, down at the bottom. That means there's more pages, something I didn't know not long back. Also here you can filter. So say if I filter here to gloves or something, which I don't have many of, it's easier if I'm dragging stuff from my ship over to the local because there's not loads of stuff in the way that's going to end up getting in the way as I'm dropping stuff in and it's swapping it out. So that's another little tip there on the local inventory. So tip number 3 is when you land on a planet, in the landing bays, hangars, there's these med bay parts here with the little hospital logo. And what these are is if you've got somebody injured on your ship incapacitated or whatever, and you haven't, and because you're in an armistice zone, you can't use your white gun on them, you can drag them over to this hospital bay here, put them in the lift, and just send them up. And when you send them up, they'll end up in the hospital. You can't go in with them, but they can. But you can send them up from outside. And yeah, so if you've got incapacitated people on your ship, and you're in this area, you can just drop them off here. These don't exist on space stations, though. They only seem to exist here on the planets. So my next tip number 4, is eating and drinking. When I first started, I would grab a drink, quick buy a drink, have it, make sure. Then I'd look down at it and I'd say drink, and click the button to drink, and my character would only take a sip. So I'd have to, if I was like really low, I'd have to keep doing it. But then I'd realised you can just press your fire button, and once you keep hold of it, you can drink as much as you want. So if you've got a lot to drink, that's a good way of doing it if you didn't know before that you could do that. And same with the food, you just press your trigger and you'll eat as well. So tip number 5 for me is quantum drives. If you're going to change anything on your ship, make sure to change your quantum drive. One of the first things. It can take so much time from your travelling. So on here I've got this RSI Atlas here. So what I'll do is I'll show you the difference between the two in time. So if we go to urkel.game/live/calculator, the DPS calculator, I'll put the link in the description. And basically you can, at the side here, set your slots up for your different ships that you want to look at upgrading. So I've got my Expedition Pisces here. And basically I was going through and changing some of these. So if we look here at the quantum drive, so it comes equipped with an Expedition Civilian Grade C. And so if we look at the difference between the two to the Atlas, so I don't think the times here change too much, but we'll have a look. If you say like how far you want to go, it will calculate here how, for the time. So let's have a look at the two differences. Let's go by civilian. So there's the Expedition and there's the Atlas. So the Atlas and the Expedition, so the speed is a lot more on the Atlas. The fuel requirement is a lot less on the Atlas, and your max distance is a lot more with the Atlas as well. So you can get around more places instead of having to stop at different points to refuel. And your efficiency is a little bit better on the Atlas. Your spool time is 5.1 on the Atlas, but 5, so slightly less on the Expedition. The rest of it is pretty much the same. So if we went something like the Carrack, you would see here, like I changed this to TS2 military. But if I reset that and we look at the numbers of this, so originally I had the Karma. So let's have a look at the Karma on this. Let's just sort this class out. So there's the Karma, and its speed is 59,000 and its max distance is 1,138. And its QT requirement is 38 and its spool time is 19. So that's the big bit there, 19. So if we go and look at the TS2, which is what I've got, and change it on the character, the distance is 4 times greater. The speed is 4 times greater than on the Karma. 208,000 to 59,000. It's just a little bit less than 4 times the amount. So the QT requirement is more. And the max distance is a lot less. It's like 3 times the distance, but it's still, you can still get to everywhere in Stanton at the moment with the Carrack. But the biggest is this spool up time. So 4.3 seconds spool up time compared to 19 seconds. That's a massive difference. That's a big difference, spooling up and not having to wait. So yeah, and obviously the health is a lot greater as well with it being military. So the industrial ones are built for being slow but going further distances, and the military ones are built to be a bit faster, a bit more stronger. So yeah, so you can see there why it's worth doing it on something like the Carrack, because it's a massive difference, massive difference. And my tip number 6, the last tip, is something again I didn't know when I was starting out. Is when you land on these landing pads at these bases, you can refuel and restock here. I didn't know you could do this for a while, and then I found out you could. It made life easier, especially when I was doing long box missions. It meant I could just land on the pad while I'm doing the box missions and then refuel and stuff that I needed. Also the same if you've been in any fights or whatever, it's a good place to come down, repair, refuel and all that stuff. So just press F1, go to your Moby Glass, then go to your maintenance, and you can do that there. It's also a good tip if you find you're on the planet or the space stations and you go to refuel and stuff and it doesn't allow you to, because there's a bug at the moment where it doesn't allow you to fuel on space stations sometimes or on the planet sometimes, but it always seems to work on this one. Always seems to work if you go down to a pad. I've never had problems when I come down to a pad to do it. So guys, that's my top 6 tips for people that have been playing a little bit and maybe didn't know this. And yeah, don't be a noob like that security guy. We hope you like this video, and if you did like this video, don't forget to take that pointer and tickle that like button. It really helps us out, and don't forget to hit that subscribe and bell notifications for more videos as they drop. And if you've got any tips that you think we should look at, drop them in the comment section, and maybe we'll put some tips in the next tip video, stuff that we might not know ourselves. It'd be good to learn more. So we hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you out in the verse.